Hey, it's PJ, and I've got a question for you. What's been running through your mind today? Like, really? What kind of thoughts are taking up that space in your head? I want to think about it for a second because today we are diving into something we all deal with, our thoughts. Well, we hear a lot about overthinking and negative thinking, right? But did you know they're not the same thing? A lot of people think they are the same. But I'm telling you, they are two completely different processes that can mess with our lives in a different ways. Like one wasn't enough. So stick with me because by the end of this episode, we are not only going to understand the difference, but I'm also going to give you some real actionable steps to stop those thoughts from running the show. Sounds good? Let's start with negative thinking. It's that voice in your head that just loves to point out the worst possible outcome in any situation. And we've all been there, right? You're thinking about starting something new, maybe a business, a new job, or even a small change in your lifestyle, and bam, your mind goes straight to, I'm not ready for this, or what if it fails? Sounds familiar? I know it does because I've been there too. I remember when I was thinking about launching my first workshop and I was all excited, and then suddenly that little voice in my head started saying things like, what if no one shows up? Or what if people think I'm terrible at this? Here's the thing. Negative thinking isn't just a bad habit. It's your brain trying to protect you from failure or disappointment. But let me ask you something. Has avoiding failure ever really made your life better? Think about it because I can literally bet it hasn't. Now imagine you're starting a business. Instead of thinking about how to get it off the ground, your mind is like, nope, you don't have enough money, you're not ready, or what if you fail? And guess what happens next? You don't even start, and you quit before you've even begun. That's negative thinking slamming on the brakes before you've even left the driveway. Let me take you back to the time that I had this massive opportunity in front of me. I was invited to speak at a big event. Huge, right? But you know what? The first thing my brain told me was, what if you mess up? Not, wow, what an amazing opportunity. Nope. My brain was like, you're not ready for this, PJ. So I sat there going back and forth with myself for days, completely paralyzed by these negative thoughts. I almost said no. Can you believe that? I almost walked away from something that changed my life today because I was too focused on what could go wrong. And here's the kicker. Most of these negative thoughts weren't even real. They were just stories my brain was making up. We all do this, don't we? We convince ourselves something's going to fail before even we try. But guess what? I did it anyway. I showed up, gave my talk, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. Now, overthinking is a whole different beast. You know that feeling when your brain just won't shut up? You analyze every little detail, every possible outcome over and over and over again, and it's exhausting. Let's say you're preparing for a job interview. Before you could even apply, you're thinking, what if I am not good enough? What if they ask me something that I can't answer? What if I mess up? It's like your brain is running every worst case scenario on a loop. And by the end of it, you're mentally drained and you haven't even done anything yet. Again, I know you've been there. We all have. And when you finally get that interview call, instead of feeling excited, what do? You start overthinking again. What if I say something wrong? What if I freeze up? It's like you're preparing for failure instead of success. Here's what's wild. Both negative thinking and overthinking come down to the same thing. Your thought process. It's all about how you think. Negative thinking is about focusing on why things won't work, and overthinking is about being stuck in that endless what ifs that keep you from moving forward. Both of these thought patterns are holding you back. But they are doing it in different ways. Negative thinking keeps you stuck before you even start, while overthinking keeps you spinning in the place, unable to make a move. But guess what? You can break out of both of these cycles, and you don't have to stay stuck. Okay, so, all right, now that I gave you the description of what is what, but let's get to how we can deal with these thought patterns. Listen up, because this is a crucial information you need to know to understand something mind-blowing about our brain and thoughts. Our brains are wired for survival, not success, which is exactly why our thoughts are almost all the time inclined to focus on our survival. By saying you might fail, it wants to help you realize any possible danger you might be walking into. I was watching this documentary the other day, Life on Our Planet on Netflix, and it hit me. Evolution is literally about survival. Our ancestors, way back in the Stone Age, weren't sitting around thinking, what if I fail at this business idea? They were thinking, how do I not get eaten by a saber toothed tiger today? And that's why, even now in 2024, when we don't need to worry about predators lurking in the bushes, our brains are still wired to look out for danger. It's like we have this ancient survival system that has not gotten that upgrade that it has to get. Our brains haven't quite caught up with the modern life. Back then, survival meant life or death, but today survival looks different. It's no longer about outrunning wild animals or constantly searching for the food. Now, survival shows up in our day to day struggles, at work, in relationships, or even in how we perceive our goals or challenges. But here's the thing, because our brains are still wired for survival, they tend to focus on the worst case scenarios. They're designed to keep us safe by scanning for anything that might go wrong. So instead of thinking, wow, this project could be a huge success, our brain is like, wait, what if this fails and you lose everything? It throws us into this mental mode of avoiding risks at all costs, even when those risks aren't life threatening like they used to be once. And this is the craziest part. Those thoughts that pop up, the doubts, the fears, and the overthinking, they are not random. They are your brain's way of trying to keep you alive. In evolutionary terms, it's still trying to save you from a threat. Even if that threat now is something as minor as making a mistake at work or stepping out of your comfort zone. But here's the catch. We don't need that constant survival instinct to the same extent anymore. The challenges that we face today are more about growth, learning, success, and not survival. And that's why these thoughts, while they are well intentioned on our brain's part, often ends up limiting us. They are stuck in this past while we are here in the present trying to move forward. If you want to upgrade your brain, let me give you some real advice that works. For negative thinking, if you are that negative thinker, you've got to challenge those limiting beliefs. Ask yourself, why am I so focused on what could go wrong? Seriously, ask yourself that right now. Instead of thinking, I don't have enough money to start this business, ask, how can I raise that money? What are my options? Should I apply for a loan? Look for an investor? You see, the key is to get curious. Curiosity helps you shift from fear into taking action. And for overthinkers out there, recognize when you are spiraling. When you catch yourself stuck in that loop of what ifs, stop. Take a deep breath and shift your focus to doing something, even if it's one tiny step, especially a tiny step. The goal is to break that loop. Like, if you're freaking out about an interview, instead of imagining every way it could go wrong, take action. Practice those commonly asked questions. Research the company or do a mock interview with a friend. Just one small step will calm your brain down and get you out of that overthinking spiral. Here's my challenge to you. What's that one area of your life where you've been stuck in negative thinking or overthinking? Got it in your mind? Good. Now I want you to take that one small step towards breaking that pattern. If it's negative thinking about your business idea, take just 5 minutes today to brainstorm your ways to raise the money you need. If it's overthinking about a job interview, practice answering one interview question, just one. You'll be amazed at how quickly your mindset will start shifting when you take even the smallest action. Believe me on this. Here's the bottom line. Your thoughts have a huge impact on how you live your life, but you can take control before they take control of you. Both negative thinking and overthinking are just thought patterns, and patterns can be changed 100%. I want you to know that you've got this. You're capable of changing your mindset, breaking those thought cycles, and moving forward. And trust me, taking action, no matter how small, is the key to breaking free. So let me know what's your next step. Thank you for tuning in, but stay connected because in future episodes, we will dive even more deeper into how to manage your thoughts and start living a more balanced and positive life. Know that I am rooting for you. And remember, you've got this. This is PJ signing off for today. Wow, I always wanted to say that.